Boomity boom, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and thanks so much for the support in the last few videos. Please drop a like or whatever if you like this content. Is just sort of like raw business content stuff. I've been trying to be an entrepreneur for like 10 years, if not more. I'm 31 years old now, and I had things going on when I was like kind of messing around in high school and whatnot, and then I got away from that when I went to university, and then I got back into that when I was in my early 20s, and honestly failed just a lot of times. And it's only been in recent years that I've started to get some momentum. I run an e-commerce brand. I did freelancing. I made over six figures with that. And I've had a bunch of other kind of mini side businesses, side hustles. And so I'm just trying to share some of the stuff that I've learned along the way so that you can be successful, that you can maybe skip some of those failures. But ultimately, so you can just feel like you're not crazy. You're not, you're not a failure. You can do it. The biggest mindset shift that I slowly started to make, but it didn't happen until I got some success, till I had like money coming into my bank account, was that, oh my gosh, it does take some time. I used to feel like I was literally like something was wrong with me because I would watch these videos and it seemed like everyone else just made a YouTube video and it got views, or everyone else just started an agency and got to 30K a month, or everyone else, like, it felt like no one else had the problems. And I think a lot of people feel that way. You look on YouTube and you're like, damn, like, become a creator and just launch a course and or become a coach and just sell high ticket coaching, and you get the ads and you see the videos and you watch Hormozy, and it's all good content, but then it just fucking sucks when you start doing this shit. You sit down at your laptop and you pull out Google Docs and you're like, I don't know anything. No one wants to listen to me. I'm not motivated. I'm just going to scroll TikTok or whatever. And if that's you right now, if you want to go scroll TikTok and you don't want to be encouraged, then go, leave the video. That's fine, because this is not as sexy as people make it sound. Don't get me wrong, it does get sexy when you got some money to blow, and when you start getting money coming in, or when you make a viral video or whatever. Like, that shit is fun. I've mentioned this before, but like, this place we're in, I know it doesn't look that crazy, but it's, my business rents this. I've got this, basically this space now to come do cool shit. I can show people around. We've got like this little warehouse and this little office, and it's sick. And I'm full-time with my business. There's money coming in. We're making plans and all this stuff that comes with the responsibility of a business once it starts to take off. And that's super freaking cool. But it's not like that for the first little bit. And I want to just drill that into your head, that if you're struggling and you're thinking like, this is not working for me, or I'm in the wrong business model, I just want to zoom in on that difficult part of the journey and just encourage you. Because the gurus, I mean, they tell you this stuff, but then it's the tricky thing is like, all the thumbnails and all the YouTube videos, they make it seem like they're like telling you it's easy, but then they're telling you how hard it is. So it's kind of like gaslighting people. And I think that's the tough thing about this, is that you wouldn't do this stuff if you knew how hard it was. A lot of people probably wouldn't. Like, I was always thinking I was a couple clicks away, a couple days away from, just money rolling in. And that was kind of true, but it also kind of took a while to happen. So you got to be delusional enough to go on this journey. You've got to be delusional enough to keep trying, to run ads, to send DMs, to think you can make it happen. And I've always had that, even though I've been kind of like, I've in my 20s, like, struggled with a lot of anxiety, ton of insecurity, depression. Like I said, I felt like I was just kind of like doomed to fail, but at the same time had a delusional belief that I was going to make it. And so that's why I kept trying. And so if you relate to that at all, then I want to encourage you to keep trying. Maybe you're doing something and it's feeling like it's not working. It's like, okay, maybe it's not that thing that's going to work, but you still need to keep trying. You need to pivot. You need to try something else. And that's where shiny object syndrome like can be actually a good thing. So there's kind of two things going on when you're struggling and when you're starting out. And I've been talking to some friends and some people who are earlier on in their journey, and I relate so much. It's like, you want something to happen so bad that you keep jumping around when things get hard. But at the same time, you need to have something consistent that you're sticking with, so you're at least making progress, right? And that is probably the hardest thing, because early on people often pick things and they hear people say just only do one thing, but they don't have a skill set and they don't have enough knowledge and they don't have enough experience. So they pick something. I see this all the time. They start a business and they're like, I'm gonna make this work. Like, it's cause I go all in, I'm gonna make it work. And it's like, it doesn't really work that way. You might be building the wrong thing. Like, you might be building the wrong thing. And if you want that to be a hobby and you're passionate about it, fine. But a better way is to keep learning skills, to not give up on the skills and to not give up on the iteration, and then to learn that way and then apply it back to the thing you're passionate about, right? So like, I ended up in a spot, I had a failed brand. I tried to start this keto brand in 2018 or 2019 because I was really into the keto diet and I wanted to do keto bars. I wanted to make these bars. I love protein bars, so I was going to do this thing. I was delusional. I was like, I was going to make them. I started making them in my kitchen. I spent thousands of dollars with this company who was going to make them for me and all this stuff. And then I had no audience. I was posting on Instagram a little bit, but I didn't understand enough around direct to consumer goods that, it's possible, but food is really hard to sell. I didn't know how I was going to advertise it. I didn't have enough knowledge to make that work. And so I kept being delusional about it. But then at a certain point I had to say, I don't know how I'm going to sell this shit. And I don't know if anyone wants this. And I'm losing interest. So at that point, forcing that to work was a dumb idea, right? And so I think that's where you've got to kind of realize where the momentum is. You've got to feel momentum as you're learning your skills. Ultimately, I didn't give up on those values because I'm still passionate about health and about healthy fats and about things like that. And that ended up being a factor in the business that I started. Like, those interests, it's not like I gave up on my dreams. It just had to, that brand that I wanted to build had to be postponed to a different sort of time period. But I kept learning the skills. I kept learning. After that, I jumped into copywriting because I was paying at the time. I was running Facebook ads to build my email list, which I don't really recommend. The best way to build an email list is either to build a massive audience, which takes time, or to run ads and make sales. And as a result of making sales, you have a pop-up on your website and you get emails from that. That's the best way. That's the way to do it. So don't run ads to get emails. That's dumb. You'll get people on your email list who don't want. And that's what I was doing. I was paying for this brand email opt-ins. It was costing me like $8 an email. And I wasn't even emailing the email list. And so it was like I was skipping the fundamentals because I was a little bit delusional about the brand. And being delusional is a good thing because it makes you take action. I learned stuff from that experience, but then it wasn't that brand that worked, right? So then I pivoted into copywriting. I was like, I got to learn this marketing thing. I got absolutely obsessed with marketing for about a year and a half. I still am, 2 years, and then learned email marketing. I started pitching other keto brands, other health brands, other sort of supplement brands. I learned how to do email marketing for them. I got paid really well for that. I started making that work, right? So I don't know what the thing you're working on is right now. Only you know that, but I just want to encourage you that, like, it will work. Like, the thing might not work, but like, you will be an entrepreneur if you want to be an entrepreneur. You will get a business to work. You will build something that pays you. I think that's the cool thing, and that's what I want to speak to in these videos is it can feel stupid. It can feel stupid when you're working on the thing because there's often periods of time where you're not getting paid and you don't know how to, like, you think it's supposed to feel different than it does. And I just want to say that you get little wins, like it's literally like this graph. It's like going like this, right? And so you're going to get a little win and then you're like, oh, then you're not going to get a win and it's going to feel shitty, but you've learned skills. And then you're going to get a bigger win. You're like, okay, now I can do this. And then you're going to get a failure and then you're going to get a massive win. That's just how it goes. It's like up and down and then up and down and then up, then way up and then way down and then way, way up. And then at a certain point, these way, way ups, it's like you're friggin' going to make like $1 million, $2 million, $10 million. And it's like, you're in the game. Like, and those numbers might sound crazy, but at the start, it's just, okay, it's $200. Then you're down, and then you lose a client, and then it's $2,000, and then it's up and down, up and down. That's the way it goes. So, practically speaking, cash flow is important. That's why I think it is dangerous sometimes if you're obsessed on a project that's not driving cash, and you know you need to be making money, like you need to at a certain point get money in the door. So I when someone chats to me and they're like, this is the business, this is the idea, and they've got that kind of delusionalism, but there's no money coming in and they don't really have a plan to get money coming in, that's where you need to be like, well, you don't have a business, you have a hobby or a charity or something like that. And that's where you need to adjust your path and be like, okay, how can we get this profitable? How can I get a piece of this profitable? How can I use some of the skills that I'm learning and make those profitable? So let's take the example of like, you might want to build a self-improvement YouTube channel. That's great, cool, do the videos, but just realize that like you're not broken, and it's not a problem if you're not starting to make money and your videos aren't popping off. That just takes time. That takes time to happen. So at the same time that you do that, learn how to edit videos maybe, and then pitch other people on editing their videos, or learn how to write scripts and freelance with that, pitch other people. Like, you need money coming in, and ideally if those two things fit together, then you can have money coming in while you're building the more meaningful project. But all in all, I tweeted this the other day, like if you can survive for 3 years, like this sort of bipolar experience of making money and then not making money and trying different things, like there's no doubt in my mind, like you won't make less than 500K a year. I kind of believe that, unless you're stupid, because you just learn enough skills and you make enough connections, and you're gonna end up landing in a business model that makes that amount, because that's just the way leverage works. Like at a certain point, once you get the thing working, it's not like you learn and then you cap off here. It's like, no, you get into an opportunity and you go like way up. So if you're in that period, that 1 to 3 year period that feels stupid, you're not getting results, there's a couple things you can do. You need to identify like why you aren't getting results. So if it's like, if you're making YouTube videos that like don't get any views, it's like something is wrong there. You need to listen to that feedback. Like, don't just blindly keep doing the dumb thing. And I think that's like the biggest lesson here is, don't blindly do something that's like not getting results. You've got to change it up. You've got to tweak things. Because it's just working hard is kind of dumb, and it's kind of a lie. Like, just hard work is kind of bullshit if you're working in the wrong direction. You might be working hard at the most inefficient thing that's not developing your skills. You need to be building your skills. You need to be iterating. You need to be honest with yourself. Like, why doesn't this work? Let's take the example of an e-commerce brand, and it's not really working, and you put all this work and you're passionate about it, and it's like, would you buy that fucking product? Like, do you actually get excited about that product, or are you just praying? Are you just running your ads and praying that like someone buys it? It's like that's not how you build a brand. That's not how you get rich, right? Like, you can't just pray and hope and you're like, well, I work hard and like I post every day in the social media. It's like, maybe no one cares about, like, you're missing how to connect with your audience. Like, you're not learning that. So it's like, that's dumb. Don't stay in that place. But at the same time, it still takes a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year for your skills to actually start to get results. And that's where you need encouragement. That's where, it's important to not give up, because that I don't know who said this first, but nothing happens, then everything happens. And this is true. It'll feel stupid. I'll give the example of when I was doing outreach for freelancing. It felt stupid. I'm listening to these kids on Twitter. I'm listening to these people on the internet tell me that I'll send outreach messages. I'm like, I'm doing it and nothing's happening, and it's Saturday night and this is lame. And then all of a sudden I sign a client who's paying me, like, in Canadian dollars, it was almost like $4,000 Canadian a month. And I'm like, boom, I'm now in business, remote. I have a client. Like, this is insane. This is crazy. And it truly changed my life. But that was only the first time. Then I learned skills, and then I started building this brand. And it's like, I started trying to drop ship way back in 2019 or 2017, I think, was the first Shopify store I made. And then it's in 2023 that I get traction with my own brand, and that just, starts to grow. And so it's like, nothing happens and then everything happens. And there's a difficult period that you want to give up, in between that, you got to keep trying, you got to keep learning, you got to be relentless, but don't be relentless on the stupid things. Don't be relentless on the stupid things. Audit what you're doing, be honest with yourself, and then take action on the things that move forward. So I think that's the video. That's it. I just want to encourage you, and yeah, make sure you're focused on the right things, but it will kind of feel stupid. I think, like, once again, a lot of the gurus, like, on the day to day before you've made any money, like, it kind of feels like the grinding is not sexy. So just accept that. And then as long as you're improving, as long as you're taking the actions that are going to move things forward, be patient with yourself. And it takes time. It takes time. And then the other thing is, like, if you do get to a point where you're stuck, it's like, that's where the content is helpful, or join a course or join a Discord. There's all these, like, there's great value out there to get feedback from people and just be like, am I doing the right thing? I pay people a lot of money now, still to this day, just at a higher level, to just be like, am I doing the right thing? This is what I'm doing. And they're like, yep, that's right. And I'm like, okay. Because sometimes it feels like, even with a brand, it feels insane. It feels like a mess. It feels crazy. And it's just like, yep, no, that's that's what growing businesses feel like. It's kind of crazy. And so people just aren't that real about what it's like being inside a growing business, what it's like starting a business. And I just want to pull back the curtain and basically say, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of wild. If you can feel depressed like 5 days out of the week, and then you're absolutely over the moon one day of the week. Like, this is the game that we signed up for. And if you can't handle that, then it's like, this probably isn't for you. But if you've got that delusional belief, and you're like, that payoff's coming, and it's like, then it will come. And there's nothing like it. It is so worthwhile. It's so exciting. It's legit. And I'm not the big rich guy yet, but to be able to have resources to either take care of people or buy something nice for your parents or whatever that thing is, that shit's all real. It's crazy. I mean, like, when you compare that to just the option of the job where it's just normal, fuck normal. You don't want normal. So that's all. Please drop a like, drop a comment. If you want more specific stuff, like, drop a comment about that, because I do these kind of more general videos, but I might do something about Facebook ads, or I don't know. We'll see. But that's the video for now. Cheers, peace, love you, bye.